Hi everyone, it's Evelyn, and in this week's video I'm going to go over the steps I go through to prepare for the farmer's market and show you the setup that I have at the farmer's market, with at the end a few tips and tricks about what I do to make my stand look as nice as it does. Let's get into the video. Hopefully you can see me and I'm not too dark in this spot, but I've just gone around and cut whatever flowers I had. I actually have more, but of each kind that I have available to get ready for the farmer's market tomorrow. You'll notice when I show them to you that most of them are short stemmed, and this is where thrifted vases really comes in handy, because I don't have much in the way of long stems yet because those flowers just haven't started blooming. So I'll show you what I've got. Just one sec, I'll flip you around. Okay, so I've got a container of columbines here. This is about all the columbines I want to cut. I have candy tuft. I can cut lots more of that if I want to. I have a very small selection of anemones that I can use. I was given a bunch of long needled pines, short stems again. So hopefully I can use those because those are really pretty. I have lots of ivy, as you probably noticed in my garden tours. I only cut a few sprigs. I can always cut some more because it's really not from my bouquet making station. It's not that far away. I have the first of the blooming rhododendrons. They're short stemmed because there's lots of other buds in them that I wanted to keep, and I don't need long stems today anyway. Bluebells, lots more of that. Mint, pansies. Not sure I want to cut more of those, but I've got those. I've got some blooming lavender that was up on the deck that I didn't show you in the garden tour last week. I've got lemon balm. It's looking kind of saggy right now because it just got cut. Hopefully it will rehydrate. Of course, got my dried poppies that I like to use with everything. Lots of hosta leaves. I've got different short ones in here of different kinds. Bigger ones, I can cut lots more of those. Then I have a big pot that has giant Solomon seal. Can cut lots more of those. The draping pink blossoms are starting to open. Again, see if I can find the flowers there and focus in on them. I have no idea what they are, but they're long cascading stems, which is fun. I have these snowberry branches, just got cut, so they're looking a little saggy. Hopefully they'll hydrate. I have the spirea white blossoms in here, but I think they're actually finished now, so I'm not sure I'll be using those. Is there anything else in here? Oh, there's the white spirea. You can see it better here. And yeah, they're really dropping their blossoms. See, I did that. You can see all the little white blossoms all over the table. Not sure I can use those. But that's mostly what I got for flowers. I can cut some more lavender sprigs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my seed room, which is now my thrifted vase storage, and see what I want to use to start putting together bouquets with. See you there. I'm going to start up here. I've got these two wooden pots that are really, really pretty. And I think what I'm going to do is just put some lavender without water in them. So a little like posy of dried lavender in those, because really it's these pots that are going to sell, not the lavender. And then, you know, like one of these sitting on a kitchen windowsill or something, or in a bathroom, put out a nice lovely lavender scent. Then starting at this end, I'm going to see what I can do with the cream and sugar containers. It'd be kind of fun to have, because cream and sugar are both white, to have something white that's more bulky like the candy tuft representing sugar, and something more fluffy that's white. Don't know what. I'll figure that out as I get there. I'm going to see if I can try and use this big vase that has the two spouts, because I think those cascading pink blossoms will look nice on out one side, matched with something on the other side, maybe a rhododendron or two. This is new. Picked up this here. I'll lift this up so that you can see it up here better. It's a little purse vase. That will look nice with something just coming out the side of it that way. That will be really, really pretty. I may or may not use these little, well, I just think they're so cute, and they're short, so they'll take really short things. These two little vintage, I forget what country they're from again. I'll put it on the screen. This vase, which is really quite beautiful, would look stunning with some giant Solomon seal coming out of the top of that. This really cool looking vase. I might be able to do a base with the long needled pines in there, and then just some other maybe short rhododendron or two nestled into the pines, not sure. Same thing here with this one, this little teapot. I thought I'd put a couple of lavender sprigs in there that are blooming and call it lavender tea. And on that note, this teapot, I want to put mint in it and call it mint tea. And this teapot, which is new, so again, I'll put this up here so you can see what it looks like because it's new. Well, new secondhand, new to me. This teapot, I would like to put the lemon balm in and call it lemon tea. So kind of the teapots will have things in them that you can actually use for tea. I think that's just kind of cute. This little vase, just because it's short and easy to fill. This beautiful little red vase I may or may not use because, I mean, I've only got so many flowers. I have to figure that out. Here's another new one. Okay, let me take that red vase down. I have another purse vase that I thrifted. Isn't that cute? I really want to use that one as well. Okay, so then I because I love this little lizard vase, want to use that. This little green one I may or may not use. This one is really good because it's got such a tiny opening. Maybe just some pansies spilling out of that. And then this vase, this double-sided vase, it could look cool with the long-nosed pine branches coming out of that as well. So that's the selection of vases that I'm going to try and work with. It might be too many, it might be too few. But again, this shows the importance of having really cool and interesting vases for people to see, because they'll just go, oh, look at this, I have to have that. And the fact that it's only got a couple of little blooming lavenders in it for this little tiny teapot is irrelevant because they're buying a little tiny teapot with the ladybugs on it. So now I got to go and start making arrangements. So what I'm going to do now is just let the everything that I cut hydrate a bit before I make arrangements. Then I'm going to have all the vases out there, make arrangements, bring them back in here probably because it's nice and cool in here. Take photos of them against the concrete wall, and mainly I take the photos so that after the farmer's market, because I'll forget what I've sold and what I haven't sold. I'll be able to go by process of elimination on the photos, see which ones I sold. And then I'm going to leave the flowers in here because it's cooler. And while they're in here, I got to clean up my bouquet making station and get it ready for the displays that I'm going to do and set that all up. And I'll show you the setup when I've got it all set up. Well, actually, I'll show you the arrangements when I've got all the arrangements made. Then I will, after I've got my station for the farmer's market set up in my bouquet making area, then I'll show you how I've got it laid out for the farmer's market. Well, I got all the flower arrangements made. I'm not going to take them back outside to show them to you on the display. It's just too hot outside. It's 28 degrees Celsius. And it's nice and cool in here. In fact, right now it's 18 degrees, 10-degree difference. So I really don't want to take them outside and put them into that heat. I don't know, 28 degrees is a price. You double it and add 30 approximately for Fahrenheit. So that's 28, 40, 56, 86 degrees. I don't really want to take them out there for that. But what I'll do is I'll flip you around and give you a quick look at all the arrangements, and then what I'll do is on the screen, because I took pictures of them all, I'll do one after the other so that you can see what they look like in their individual state. Here are all the arrangements. I'm going to step back to see. I have to step back, but my room's pretty narrow. So I've got that one up there, which is mostly just foliage. It does have some giant Solomon seals, some dried astilbe fronds from last year, and some snowberry foliage. And then down here, I used the 5 bird vase and put a lot of columbines, dried poppy seeds, and whatever this flower is that I have no idea what it's called. If I, pull this one up, that's the purse. You can see it's got a rhododendron. Actually, it's got 2 rhododendrons in it and some ivy. And then if I pull up this other vase, I've kept this one quite simple. It's got anemone, lavender, candy tuft. Actually, I guess I should have shown it to you from the other side because that's the way the hosta leaves are facing, and some hosta leaves. So then I have this little narrow mouth vase just with some pansies in it. I have one of these vintage vases with some pansies, anemone, and hosta leaves in it. I've got the red vase I did with rhodos. This vase has bluebells and long needled pine. Here's my mint pot, mint tea, put that right on the tag, mint tea. That's so cute. Here's my lavender tea. And then I have my cream and sugar. I have the wood pot. I put some more long needle pines, some lavender sprigs, and some dried poppy pods. Here's my lemon balm tea. I realized that these 4 cups that I have actually go with that teapot, so they can buy it individual or the 4 cups with it if they like the tea set. Here's my lizard, more long needled pine leaves, lavender, candy tuft, and poppy seed pots. That's what it's called. Here's this wavy blue vase. It's got hosta leaves, the long needled pine, rhododendron, one of these that is not falling. Ooh, it is falling apart. Well, I won't touch it. And a little bit of columbine. And then the tall vase, of course, with the graceful giant Solomon seal. I realize it's hard. Oh, yeah, and then this vase that has the deep... Oops, just tipped over one of my vases. That wasn't very smart. This vase that has the deep cuts on both sides has bluebells, long needled pine, a couple of rhododendrons coming out on each side, and an anemone. But you'll see everything better when I put each picture up on the screen, which I'll start doing now. I'm at the market really early so I can set up because I didn't do a pre-setup. Car's all loaded. You can see all the flowers are in the back. Totes are in the front. Dahlia's over there. Time to offload. So my stand is set up, so I'll just start up close. You can see I have a magnet board with my art magnets on it here on the end. I have an L shape. And then beside it I have all my art cards. Above on the wood crates, I have a few of my vases, as well as some soaps that are made with flower petals from my garden in them. I have more vases here in the corner. As I swing around the corner, I have my limited edition prints, which I have a hummingbird, a heron, a robin. I was hoping to have my pair of eagles, but I haven't actually finished that watercolor yet. And then I have bigger vases. On the end of the L, I have my dahlias that are started, pre-started, as you can see. I have my sign for the dahlias. I have my sign for the flowers. And then if I swing around into the far corner, I have some daffodils. And if I back up, you can see how the L shape of the stand looks. So that's my stand. It's still about a half an hour before the market opens. And people beside me haven't even shown up yet, but that's typical. They usually show up right before it opens. They're farmers. So that's my stand. Hi, so it's a few days later, and I'm over the heat of the farmers market. It actually went up to 33 degrees Celsius that day. And the farmers market, although it's in a beautiful setting, which has a sound stage for bands, etc., it's concrete. So it may be 33 degrees out and about in Camel River, but in Spirit Square, it's a lot hotter than that. And I looked it up in Fahrenheit, that's 91.4 degrees, 33, plus all the heat coming off of all that concrete. It was a hard day to get through. but thankfully got through it. I did. It's a few days later. I'm rested up, and I just wanted to go over a few things. You saw how my setup went, and a few tips and tricks that I have for you if you're just getting ready to start a farmer's market is if you're looking for tablecloths to put on your tables, consider doing drapes, because that's what I used. I had 4 panels of drapes. Look at that pattern. It's absolutely perfect and beautiful for my display setup. And because it's drapes, it's really long. And I can use 2 per 6-foot table, and the 2 6-foot tables I'm taking are actually ones for my bouquet making station. I'll put the link to that in the description box below. Some of the other tips and tricks that I have are, as I print my signs out, I put them on a bulletin board. I use painter's tape to keep it in place if there's a breeze or whatever. And then I just go to the thrift shop and pick up any little stand. This one still has the price tag on it because it's one I'm not using. It's a little flimsier than the ones that I did find that I am using. Put it on there and you've got a perfect little sign display. Just a clipboard, something I've printed out on the computer, and a little inexpensive stand. And then the third tip that I want to come up with, now you saw, that I want to share with you is you saw how I had displayed my cards and my soaps. I was actually short in a couple of my display stands, so I had some of the cards on the table, I believe. But I had a whole pile of these, and with a hot glue gun, I turned them into a 2-level display, so I can have cards on 2 levels. I could actually do a 3rd level if I wanted to, and I might, depending on how things go for the season, whether or not I need more room around it, so that I prefer to have the vertical height for the cards. But this is a really, really great little card stand and soap stand, and it's just made with 3 of these single containers hot glued together. You probably see the little glue bits in there. So those are just 3 of the tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. Next week, it may be about planting out pre-started sunflowers, all depends on the weather. And if not, it'll be about something else. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and absolutely leave any questions and comments that you want to leave down below, and I'll make sure that I answer every single one of them. Until next week, bye.